Caitlyn, I want to start with a number that makes most contractors a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me, but don't.
Somewhere between 30 and 50% of leads that a typical replacement contractor pays for never turn into a real opportunity.
I've seen it.
And here is the part that gets people. It's usually not because the leads were bad.
That's the part nobody wants to hear, because the easy story is Angie sent me junk or Modernize is selling me garbage. And sometimes that's true, but a huge chunk of those leads were perfectly good homeowners who genuinely wanted a quote, and they just slipped through the crack somewhere between the form submission and the sale.
Right. They didn't get called fast enough, or they got called once and never again. Or the appointment got set and then quietly fell apart before anyone ever sat down at the kitchen table.
And the brutal thing is, you already paid for every one of those leads. The marketing dollar is spent whether you close them or not.
So today, we're going to walk through exactly where leads leak out of your funnel, why you probably can't see it happening, and what to actually do about it. This one might cost you a little bit of sleep, but it'll make you money.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to Digital Marketing for Contractors, a podcast for home improvement contractors to help you crush your lead goals and take your business to the next level. Join us each episode as we give you powerful insights and practical tips on the best digital marketing strategies to help you grow your home improvement business. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Digital Marketing for Contractors, the show where we translate all the marketing stuff into plain language so you can grow your home improvement business. I am Caitlyn Noble.
And I'm Meredith Medlin. And if you run a replacement company, windows, roofing, siding, gutters, baths, this episode is squarely for you, because you're the kind of business that lives and dies by lead volume. You need hundreds of leads a month, not 10.
Which means leakage matters way more for you than it does for a custom remodeler doing a handful of big projects a year. When you're running a real lead engine, a 30 to 50% leak isn't a rounding error. It's potentially the difference between a good year and a great one.
So let's define the problem before we can fix it. Caitlyn, walk us through the funnel, because the leaks hide in gaps between the stages.
Oh, this is good. So sure. Okay. So if you've been on this show before, you know the standard replacement contractor funnel. A homeowner comes in as an inquiry. Sometimes you'll hear that called as a raw lead. That's a form fill on the website or an inbound phone call where someone basically says, I'd like an estimate.
And that inquiry is the most expensive thing that you own at that moment, because you paid to generate it and you have gotten zero value back just yet.
Exactly. Then your call center sets the appointment. Then someone confirms the appointment, usually the day before, making sure both decision makers will be home. Then it gets issued to a specific sales rep. Then the rep does the demo. Sometimes you call it the presentation at the kitchen table. And then hopefully it is sold.
Okay, let's run that back turbo. We got inquiry, set, confirmed, issued, demo, sold.
Praise.
And here's the thing that people miss. Every single arrow between those stages is a place where a lead can quietly disappear.
Okay, let's name the big ones. Leak number 1 happens before you even talk to them. The inquiry comes in and nobody calls fast enough. So by the time you do reach out, they've already booked your competitor.
Exactly. Leak number 2, you set the appointment, but then it's a cancel prior to issue. They agreed to have somebody come out, and then they called back and canceled before it ever even got assigned to a sales rep.
Leak number 3, the appointment's on the calendar, but it's a no-show, or one of the two homeowners isn't there, so your rep can't really present and there's no decision.
Leak number 4 is that the rep sits down, does the full demo, and the homeowner doesn't sign. That's your classic demo no sell, or as some of our clients say, sit no sell.
And leak number 5, which I'd argue is the biggest and most invisible.
Yeah.
All those leads from leaks, I can't read, Meredith. I
Leaks
can't talk.
1 through 4.
Guys, I'm going to say it again because that's how important it is. And leak number 5, which I'd argue is the biggest and most invisible. all those leads from leaks 1 through 4 just sit there, aged, untouched. Nobody ever circles back. They become dead weight in the CRM.
And that's the one that drives us a little crazy.
Me too.
Because the lead isn't dead. The homeowner still has a leaking roof probably, and they still probably hate their old windows.
Their bathroom isn't safe.
Nope. They just didn't buy from you on that day.
So when we say 30 to 50% of leads are lost, we're not talking about one giant hole. We're talking about 5 smaller holes, and they add up. A homeowner who could have been a sole job leaks out at one of those 5 touch points. And most contractors never trace it back because the leak is in the gaps, not in any one stage.
Right. And here's why you can't see it. Your CRM shows you the wins. You can see the job sold, the revenue, lead source attribution, all of that. What it doesn't shove in your face is that slow drip. The 40 inquiries this month that never got a second call. Those don't show up as a problem. They don't show up as anything.
Silence isn't an alarm. It's obviously the whole issue.
All right, so let's dig into the leak that I think wastes the most money. And I think that's the very first one. I think that's speed to lead. How fast you respond after the inquiry comes in.
This one's painful because it's so fixable.
I think we just did a post about this episode.
We could talk about this 100 times. So we're just going to talk about it again.
Listen again.
A homeowner sits down at night. They're frustrated about their bathroom. They fill out forms on 3 or 4 websites in the same 10 minutes. They are at peak motivation right then. They will almost never be that motivated again.
And the contractor who calls them back first is going to have a massive advantage. Not because they're better, but because they were there while the homeowner still cared.
Whereas if your process is the lead comes in, it sits in an inbox, somebody gets to it tomorrow afternoon. By then, the homeowner has already talked to 2 other companies and maybe booked one. You didn't lose on price, you lost on the clock.
And this gets so much worse with paid leads and aggregator leads. If you're buying from Angie or Modernize, any other lead aggregators, that lead is very often sold to multiple contractors at once.
Sure is.
So speed isn't a nice to have there. It's the whole game. You're literally racing the other people who bought that exact same lead.
So let's talk about where contractors actually leak speed. Number 1, after hours and weekends. A roofing inquiry comes in Saturday at 7 p.m. If your call center is 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, that lead is 12, 15, 40 hours cold before anyone touches it.
Right. And number 2, the handoff between your digital lead and your phone team. The form submission lands in one system, your call center lives in another system, and there's a gap. The lead's technically captured, but nobody's actually been told to even call them.
And number 3, there's no defined standard. If you've never told your team, we call every web lead within X minutes, then there's no X. It just happens whenever someone gets around to it.
And that's the fix in a sentence, honestly. You need a number and you need it to be small. Contractors who win this are measuring the time that you're first contacting your homeowner like it's a core metric. You obsess over it just the way you obsess over cost per lead.
I'd love for more owners to put speed to lead on the same wall as cost per lead. You already track every marketing dollar. Track how fast you touch the lead that dollar brought.
Because here's the math that should bother people. If you're spending real money to generate inquiries and a third of them go cold purely because of response time, you didn't have a lead problem to begin with. You had a lead and you let it expire on the shelf.
In fact, we're such good partners to our clients that if we pick up on this pretty quickly, we will literally be like, hey, y'all, like, why are we spending money on this?
Right.
You know, so we watch that kind of stuff here at our sweet agency.
Yeah. And we have solutions. I'm not saying you need to pay a room of call center people 24 hours a day, every day. We have solutions.
We've done episodes on AI too about this.
Sure have.
So y'all, it's like paying for premium produce and letting half of it rot in the back of the truck,
or in my case, in the back of my refrigerator.
Or just in my refrigerator.
Dang it. So that's exactly it. The expensive part already happened. The cheap part, calling them back quickly, that is the part that people skip.
Yes. Okay. But if speed to lead is the loudest leak, the silent killer is the one we mentioned earlier. The leads that didn't close on the first pass and then you never hear from you again.
And this is everywhere.
Kills me. I know.
Think about the demo no sell. Your rep drove out, spent an hour, half an hour, did the presentation, and the homeowner said, okay, we need to think about it. In a lot of companies, that lead just ends. It gets marked as not sold, and it just goes to die in your system.
But we need to think about it is not no, it's not today. Replacement purchases are big, emotional, expensive decisions. Plenty of homeowners genuinely intend to move forward. They just didn't sign that night.
Yeah, and cancel prior to issue leads are the same story.
Yes.
Something came up, they got cold feet, life happened, doesn't it, to all of us?
It does.
That doesn't mean that they stopped needing windows. It means the timing was just off.
So you've got this whole graveyard of leads, demo no sales, cancellations, no shows, old inquiries that never got a second call. And for most contractors, that pile just grows. Nobody owns it. Oh, it makes me crazy.
I know. And the kicker is you already paid to acquire every one of those people.
Even if it was an organic lead, you somehow paid for it because you paid for your website and the content on your website.
Exactly. So re-engaging an aged lead is dramatically cheaper than generating a brand new one because the expensive acquisition cost is already sunk.
This is where your CRM and your email and text marketing should be doing heavy lifting and usually isn't.
Yeah.
A lot of our audience has a CRM. They absolutely do. Market Chart, Job Progress, Zoho, Service Titan, something, but they're maybe using 30% of it. The follow-up automation is sitting right there switched off.
And I mean, I get why. The owner's busy.
100%.
The call center is slammed handling fresh inquiries, and nobody has the bandwidth to manually chase a 6-month-old lead down. And that's fair. But it's the exact same reason that automation exists. It's amazing. Your system can tap into those leads and do it for you.
A simple nurture sequence to your unsold and aged leads, a few emails, maybe a text or two, a seasonal promo when one comes up. You're not being pushy. You're just staying in front of people and who've already raised their hand once. Sorry, I started to think, I just wanted to say this. If you're using your CRMs, please make sure you're actually like putting a disposition next to all those leads. Otherwise, This is kind of a moot point. So I just want to say that is like, I absolutely believe in this rehash process,
but you have to use your CRM correctly.
You have to say, hey, this lead was a demo no sale. Hey, this lead was a cancellation. Anyways, sorry, go ahead, Meredith.
No,
because
you're passionate about it.
I know. We generate a ton of leads for our clients. And then when we don't see them sell, it just gets frustrating.
Go die in the CRM, but we can warm them up for you with a rehash campaign.
Correct.
You can call us about that. And so when one of those leads resurfaces and says, hey, we're actually ready now, that's revenue that you would have left completely on the table had you not gone for the rehash campaign. That lead was a total loss a minute ago, and now it's a sold job.
It reframes the whole thing. A no today is just a not yet, and you haven't followed up on.
Exactly. All right, so let's make all of this talk practical because I don't want to turn this into somebody just feeling guilty about their current process. We want you to
turn it into a plan.
Turn it into a plan. Good idea. Caitlin.
Okay, we're going to do a good, better, best on plugging these leaks.
Yeah.
I love the format for exactly this reason because you don't have to fix everything this week. Start where you are.
Yes. All right, so we're going to start with good. The starting point. This is the see the leaks territory. You can't fix what you can't measure. So at the good level, you simply start tracking the gaps, not just your wins. How many inquiries came in? How many got contacted? How fast were they contacted? How many appointments got set versus issued versus sat? And what is your demo no sale pile looking like right now?
Even pen and paper for a month would shock most owners. The good level is just turning the lights on and looking at your set, sit, and close numbers honestly. Where's the biggest drop off between these stages? That's your number one leak.
Right. All right. Now we got better. So now you fixed the biggest leak, which for most people is speed. At the better level, you set a hard speed to lead standard. Every web inquiry gets a call attempt within a defined window. And you extend your call center coverage into the evenings and weekends when a lot of those inquiries are actually coming in.
Absolutely. And pause, if you don't have somebody to manage some of that on the weekends, don't pay for those leads to come in. I really admire, one of our clients for doing that because it's wasted money.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You've tightened the handoff. So a web lead instantly lands in front of whoever's making the calls with a script that's built for that fast first touch. There's no lead sitting in an inbox overnight.
Yeah. That alone closes a big piece of the 30 to 50% we were talking about because the first leak is the biggest.
Then best. This is where you build the machine that catches everything. At the best level, your CRM and your follow-up automation are doing the work the humans don't have time for. Every unsold lead, every cancellation, every demo no sell automatically drops into a nurture sequence. Emails, text, seasonal promos, all firing on their own.
And at that level, your lead source attribution actually gets trustworthy because you're not just measuring which sources generate inquiries, you're measuring which sources generate sold jobs after the follow-up. That's going to change where you spend.
And to be clear, you don't jump straight to best. You earn it. Good shows you the holes. Better plugs the biggest ones. Best makes sure nothing leaks out of the bottom ever again.
All right, so let's make it concrete even more so with an example. And I want to be really clear. This is a fake company, like we talked about in the last episode. Let's say they are Summit Bath Solutions again.
So creative.
Bring it on back. Again, not a real company, but we built these numbers to look like a realistic one-day bath remodeler so that the math is easier to follow.
Right. Illustration only. So say Summit generates 200 inquiries a month. That's amazing. They're closing fine on the leads that make it to a demo. Their reps are good, but they were only sitting on a fraction of those 200 because leads were leaking everywhere. Slow callbacks, after-hour inquiries going cold, and a giant pile of demo no sales nobody ever touched again.
So they need to start at good. First, they need to map it out. They need to realize their single biggest drop-off is between the inquiry and the appointment being set. They are getting tons of inquiries just with way fewer sets. This is a classic speed problem.
Exactly. So then they move on to better. They set a fast callback standard and add weekend coverage. Suddenly, more of those 200 turn into set confirmed issued appointments. More demos, same close rate, but more at-bats, so more jobs.
Right. And then we've got best. They switch on automated follow-up to every unsold and aged lead. Now the demo no sells from 2 months ago start coming back around. A few even re-engage. More jobs off of leads that they had already written off.
And none of that required buying a single new lead. Same 200, they just stopped letting a third of them rot.
And that is the whole point of the episode in one example.
Yes.
Before you spend another daggum dollar widening the top of your funnel, it is worth asking where you're losing your customers out which of these gaps.
So here's what we'd love for you to do after this episode. Don't overhaul everything. Just go pull your numbers for last month. Inquiries in, how many you actually contacted, how fast, and how big your unsold pile is. Find your biggest single drop-off. That's your starting point.
And if you look at those numbers and think, okay, I can see the leaks, but I have no idea how to build the system that plugs them, that is exactly the kind of thing that we do here at Fat Cat.
We work specifically with replacement contractors. So this funnel, the call center, the CRM, the speed to lead stuff, it's the world we live in. If you didn't notice, we're not a generalist agency trying to learn your business. We already know it, like live in it, sit in it, and we close. Yes,
exactly. So if you want a second set of eyes on where your leads are leaking and what you need to fix first, head on over to fatcatstrategies.com and book a strategy call. It's free. We're actually going to look at your funnel. We'll do it with you. No pressure, no jargon, just a real conversation to figure out where the money's going.
It's my favorite conversation.
You do love those.
I love those conversations.
You'll get to talk to this lovely lady if you give us a call.
Yes. And if this episode was useful, do us a favor and send it to another contractor who you know is buying a ton of leads. This is the kind of thing that's easy to ignore until somebody points it out.
Because the leads you already have are the cheapest leads you're ever going to get. You just have to stop losing them.
That's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with us on Digital Marketing for Contractors. Y'all, we will see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Digital Marketing for Contractors is created by Fat Cat Strategies. For more information, visit fatcatstrategies.com.